Yeah.
Take it away.
Isiah, how do you guys build off of what you've done the last few weeks?
So for the most part, we kind of look at things that we've done wrong and look at why we did it wrong, like kind of what we can do to correct that to where we just eliminate as much mistakes as possible.
It doesn't look like you guys are making a lot of mistakes out there the last couple of weeks, but there are things that coaches are bringing up that you need to work on. What are some of those?
I mean, like, you know, always to like the spectators' eyes, coming with like a really pretty game. But I mean, to us, as we break things down, we can always see things that everyone needs to work at every position.
Is it hard to keep your head when punches start being thrown or that kind of stuff? And how chippy did it get Saturday?
I mean, me personally, I didn't really have the energy to even like talk back, fight back with any of that, because it was kind of hot down there. But I mean, I don't really let all that chippiness get to me because it ain't gonna do nothing but hurt us as a team.
From your perspective, you guys are number one in total defenses. What does Coach Venables, scoring defense, what does Coach Venables do to always seem to have you guys in the top every week?
He's a perfectionist, if you guys didn't know. So like our practice is such a high demand. It's really stressful, and he just gives you so much to think about in practice, to where it makes game day a lot easier and slower. So you don't go out there and you're like not surprised by anything.
You've lost some shutouts late. You had a late touchdown with 5 minutes left the other day. You feel like, you know, although you're the #1 scoring defense, it could be even better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's really we would all love to see a shutout, but it's not really as big of a deal because we like to see everybody get in and show what they can do. And some guys who may not maybe get time in like bigger games or anything, get some playing time. It was always fun to see everybody play.
Isiah stepping in for Dorian this year was a big deal for you, and there's a lot of question marks when you came into the year as how you would transition into the position. What do you think in your eyes, you've grown the most since you started this season?
I kind of had to like transition my safety mentality more to like more of a linebacker mentality. Although a free safety fits a lot in the box, I had to learn like a lot of the defensive line stunts and just different ways that I have to fit in the run game. Because that was probably like one of the biggest things from coming from safety.
Coach Venables acknowledged how intense he is about football, but said away from the field, he could be a pretty laid-back guy. How often do you guys get to see the laid-back Venables, if ever?
I mean, like, so you got football Coach V, but when he gets around his daughters, it's like a whole different guy, that's always nice to see, to show that he's not just, you know, like strict Coach V. He's also like a loving family guy.
He was saying that even in some of the early practices in the spring that you guys would break down film of Trevor and running Skelly and stuff like that and be like, man, we had him there and he still got away from it, or he still managed to get that pass. So, like, do you remember some of the moments like early on in watching a film of you guys going against Trevor in practice and being a little bit surprised at some of the things he was able to do?
Yeah, he rolled. I remember one play vividly where he rolled out and made this throw in the corner of the end zone, like through defenders' hands and everything. Like it was only one place the ball could be without it being intercepted, and he put it there on the run. So that I'll always remember that. That's what like really impressed me the most.
Did you just kind of like tip your hat to a guy in a situation like that and be like, what else was he supposed to do?
He made a great play. There's not really much you can do about that, but give him props. So.
Was that like preseason or during the season?
Yeah, it was in the spring.
What's a few extra miles an hour on velocity on a pass do to a defender? Like when you have a guy who gets it out with as much zip on it as he does, how does that force you guys to adjust?
I mean, timing is always everything, but he can just like fit the ball in. Sometimes with like most quarterbacks, maybe not be able to, but sometimes you can squeeze it in because his arm is so strong. So I mean, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, but be there early or try to jump the pass. But yeah, crazy.
Isiah, what's it been like for you being this far from home? Was it tough transition at first? Did you get homesick, and were you able to go home at all during the bye week?
Yeah, so when I first got here, I'm a mama's boy, so when I first got here, it was a little rough, but I mean, now I'm kind of settled in, and I know what I'm here to do, so my parents come to all the games anyway, so I get to see them every weekend, which is always nice. So I mean, now that I've gotten older, it's not so bad as it used to be.
You and Mario and Xavier are all from that same area, the Kansas, Missouri area. Do you guys ever sit around and talk about home together a lot?
Yeah, me and Mario, we were just talking about next time we go home, actually. So me and Xavier, we're farther away. We're like 2.5 hours away. Me and Mario are about 30, 45 minutes away. So it's a lot easier for me and him to link up when we go home, as opposed to Xavier.
You guys take any extra pride or motivation from the rankings as far as scoring defense, yardage defense, that type of deal?
I mean, it's nice to always know that you're ranked high in that, but I don't really know if the whole defense or the team as a whole is really like into looking at things like that. Because I mean, once you know it, it's not going to help you to know it. It's not going to help you to not know it either. So I don't know if anyone really pays too much attention. I mean, we hear it, of course.
Dabo said during the bye week that you might be one of the keys to the ceiling of this defense this season and how you progress the second half of the season. Is that something you look at as pressure or something that you look at as an opportunity?
I'd probably say more of an opportunity. I don't really like to put too much pressure on myself, like you said earlier. I'm kind of like laid back, but I mean, each week I'm just looking at things I did wrong to better myself, because I'm really hard on myself, and I hate when I mess up. So each time I always go look back to see like what I could have did to prevent it.
Do you see that now? Would you agree with that? What he said?
I mean, I know this is a really key position to our defense, but I try not to. Like I said, I try not to really put that pressure on myself. I just kind of want to go out there and just play, not really. Because when I play like thinking about things, stressed out, I never play good. So I kind of just try to go out there with a free mind.
You talked about enjoying watching some of the backups be able to get in. How much do you enjoy being able to see Christian and Dexter get in there on the I formation and Christian barrel into the end zone?
Yeah, so when Coach V was going over something, and we all looked up, we're like, oh, like Christian's running the ball, something kind of different. And I know Christian, he wants to like score a touchdown in any way he can. I know next he wants to throw one, so I mean, I'm not really surprised that he just did that. So it was really cool to see them. You don't really see that often.
So did you see it live, or did you get to what? Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is Christian pretty much the only guy that lobbies, the only defensive guy that lobbies for offensive snaps, or at a practice field, or are there other guys that are getting to the coach's ear going, it'd be nice to maybe get in there and get a carry? That's
Yeah, I mean, him and Dexter really just because they have the heavy package. But Kayvon, it's not really offense, but I know he might get an opportunity to maybe return a kick or something, because he was really good at that in high school. So that's something I want to see.
How did y'all do against that in practice with Christian?
We don't really ever go against that. This is kind of like something they do in there. So I don't really know.
Speaking of Christian and Dexter, Halloween's coming up. They've dressed up as Power Rangers in years past. Do you have any plans this year for Halloween?
Me personally?
Yeah, you.
Oh yeah, I don't really know. It's like in the middle of the week, so I'll probably be tired from practice. I just go home and kind of just like to chill.
You have any thoughts on seeing those 4 300-pound guys in spandex? What that's like?
Yeah, you see, I don't really know. They might do something like really crazy this year. You never know with them. Like they do all types of things, but I'm sure you'll see them in spandex some way somehow.
Anything else for Xavier? Or for Isiah? Sorry.
Thanks, guys.